You pray, you make dua, you try to stay good, and yet somewhere deep inside your heart feels tired. Not the kind of tiredness sleep can fix, not the kind that comes from work or routine or long days. This tiredness sits quietly. It does not scream, it does not announce itself. It waits inside your chest. Heavy, unmoving, you wake up in the morning and you function. You smile when required. You reply when spoken to. You do what you are supposed to do. You lower your head in prayer. You stand where you should stand. You bow, you prostrate. From the outside, everything looks fine, but inside, something feels delayed. Something feels stuck. Something feels unfinished. You raise your hands and ask Allah. You say the right word. You repeat the duas you were taught. You whisper hope between sentences, and still peace feels like it is taking too long to arrive. This question hurts more than most people admit, because you don't usually say it out loud. You keep it inside. You keep it hidden. You tell yourself, maybe I need to try harder. Maybe I am lacking sincerity. Maybe Allah is testing me more than others. And slowly, quietly, this confusion begins to settle. Confusion is dangerous when it is not addressed, because confusion does not stay confusion. It transforms. First, it turns into doubt, then it turns into distance. Not loud distance, not rebellion, just emotional distance. You still pray, but prayer feels heavy. You still make dua, but the words feel dry. You still believe, but belief feels tired. You start wondering if your prayers are being heard at all. You start questioning your own intentions. You start comparing your journey with people around you. You see others smiling, others succeeding, others speaking about peace and contentment, and without realizing it, you begin measuring yourself against them. Why does it seem easier for them? Why do they feel light while I feel weighed down? What am I doing wrong? And this is the moment many people never talk about. The moment where worship slowly stops feeling like healing and starts feeling like responsibility, like something you have to do, not something you run toward. But here is a truth most people never hear. This feeling is not a sign that Allah is distant. It is not a sign that your iman is weak. It is not a sign that your dua has been rejected. It is a sign that something inside you needs to be released. Not corrected, not punished, released. This message is not about doing more. It is not about adding more prayers, more fasts, more words, more effort. It is about letting go, because sometimes the heart is not empty because it lacks faith. It is exhausted because it is carrying too much. We grow up believing closeness to Allah is built by adding actions, more discipline, more structure, more consistency, and yes, actions matter, but no one tells you this. The heart does not always heal by adding. Sometimes it heals by removing pain you never allowed yourself to feel, removing resentment you hid behind silence, removing guilt you replay every night, removing expectations you placed on people who were never meant to carry them. You pray, but you pray with a heart that is already tired, a heart that is already bruised, and a weighted heart struggles to feel peace. Think about this quietly. How many disappointments did you bury instead of processing? Moments where you told yourself, it's fine, when it was not fine. How many tears did you swallow because you had to stay strong, because people depended on you, because no one asked how you were really doing? How many times did you blame yourself for things that were never fully in your control? The heart remembers everything you ignore, every unspoken ache, every unresolved question, every apology you never received. And when you stand in prayer, your body may be present, but your heart is still carrying yesterday. This is why some prayers feel heavy, not because Allah is absent, but because your heart is crowded with memories, crowded with regret, crowded with expectations. We rarely talk about emotional honesty in worship. We talk about actions, we talk about discipline, we talk about consistency, but we forget something essential. Sincerity begins with truth. Not perfection, not performance, truth. If your heart feels exhausted, it does not mean you are failing. It means your soul is asking for honesty. Honesty with Allah, honesty with yourself, because Allah does not need perfect words. He responds to real ones. Many people say, dua does not work, but what they really mean is, I spoke, but I did not open. You can raise your hands every night and still feel distant if you never release what is trapped inside your chest. If every dua is filtered, if every sentence is guarded, if every emotion is edited, peace is delayed not because Allah withholds it. Peace is delayed because the heart is guarded by pride, guarded by fear, guarded by pain you pretend doesn't exist, guarded by silent anger you never allowed yourself to acknowledge. And Allah does not force His way into a heart that is lost. He waits not because He is distant, but because He is gentle. He waits for honesty. He waits for surrender. The problem is not that you are not doing enough. The problem is that you are carrying too much while trying to do it. Worship was never meant to feel like pressure. It was meant to feel like relief. And if it feels heavy, something is blocking the relief. Sometimes it is resentment toward people who hurt you and moved on. Sometimes it is disappointment in yourself for not becoming who you thought you would be by now. Sometimes it is fear, the fear that you waited too long to return. But listen carefully, no return is late, only delayed by hesitation. Allah does not count how long you were away. He responds to how sincerely you come back. Yet the heart whispers doubts. You should be better by now. You should feel peace by now. Others seem closer than you. These thoughts are not true. They are weight, and weight distorts perception. That is why this message is not about increasing effort. It is about releasing what burdens the heart. Because peace does not arrive through force, it arrives through surrender. And surrender is not weakness, it is honesty. It is saying, I am tired, I am hurting, I cannot carry this alone anymore. That sentence alone is a form of worship. If your heart feels exhausted, do not silence it. Listen to it. It is not rejecting faith. It is asking for healing. And healing begins the moment you stop pretending you are fine.